Motivational Breaking Podcast, the podcast that will help you to create a winner's identity. Hello everyone and welcome to the BA Motivational Breaking Podcast. My name is Brent Armstrong and I'm your host for today. In the last episode, we spoke about finding Mr. or Mrs. Right. Today, we're having a follow-up episode. That means the part 2 of finding Mr. or Mrs. Right. And I want to go down in details to explain to you guys exactly why it's so hard for people looking for a spouse, a man or a woman to complete them in their lives. My friends, I think it's very, very important that we take the bull by the horn and take a close look at ourselves first. In my opinion, there are two main reasons why you guys are finding it so hard to find a partner. Reason number one, self-love. And reason number two, fear. You see, we have to be very, very brave because there's so many experiences that we have encountered in our lives looking for a man or a woman to complete us that it shadows our real person, our real self. And this is where self-love comes in, my friends. You have to love yourself on a level where these things doesn't really throw you off or put you in a situation where you can't really decide if you really want a relationship or you don't because you're so coward or you have the fear of losing, not having, not winning, not gaining, not being loved, not having that person in your life seeing you the way you are. Yeah, because of all these bad experiences that you have encountered over the years trying to find a partner, having one, losing one, getting a new one. It's very, very hard, my friends. I know it's hard, but everything starts with you and the way you see yourself, the way you love yourself. Yeah. And you have to start by learning to love yourself again. You have to start getting to yourself all over again, my friends, because if you're running down a path where you're not getting the results that you always wanted, then you have to change something. Yeah. And the change starts with you. It's not always the other person that's not doing something right or making a mistake or not giving you that what you want. You have to look at yourself to make sure that you are inclined with that what you want in your life and you're doing the things that's necessary for you to attract this person or this situation in your life where you can really have that joy. Yeah? The joys of life, my friends, comes first when you love yourself. So you have to really love yourself unconditionally. And if you're finding it so hard to find a spouse, a man or a woman in your life, then maybe it's not the right time. And even if you're looking for a person for months or years, then it's time for you to sit back, look at yourself, learn to love yourself again, and start all over in this process of finding a spouse. That means you have to start with yourself. Change certain things that you've been doing over the years, because if you don't change the patterns, you're always going to get the same results. So if you want to change something new, get a different result, you have to do something totally different. For example, if you have long hair, then cut it short. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should be somebody that you're not. You definitely have to be true to yourself and to who you are. But sometimes it's very important that you do something different. Yeah. Change your style. Change the bars that you used to go to. Change the clubs that you used to visit. Change the things that you used to do in your free time. Do something different. Go to the library. Go to a show where you can meet other people. Go to a restaurant. You have to do something totally different where you get in touch with a different set of people, my friends. Because if you're running down a path where you're not getting results, you have to change path. You have to do something else. Yeah. And that's why I always say the change starts with you. The change starts with you, my friends. Yeah. So you have to start working on yourself. Take close analysis of yourself, who you are, what you expect from your partner, and what you expect from yourself. And make sure that you're doing the things that's necessary to bring forth that what you want from yourself and your partner. And then you should go on out there and be brave. And this is where the fear comes in, my friends. Yeah. Talking about being brave. This is where the ladies are separated from the girls and the men from the boys. My friends, you have to be brave when you're looking for a partner in life. You have to be brave because I'm sure you've had experiences with someone before. It might be good, it might be bad, it might be both. Yeah. And these experiences have left a mark on how you think about finding a new person, finding about a man, finding a woman. These experiences in the past, my friends, have painted a picture of something that is not really who you really are, because you're reacting and acting with fear of disappointment, fear of not finding the right person, fear of being disappointed over and over again. And what you tend to do is normally you put all men, all women, everybody you have encountered in your life that want a relationship with you, you put them in the same basket because they're just like that person in the past, or they're just like this person in the past. Whenever we start thinking like this, it's the biggest proof to show that we have changed our identity. We have changed the person who we really are through past experiences, bad experiences in the past, or even in present. These experiences have given or have changed the way you think about men and about women, or about finding somebody in your life. And you're thinking, no, maybe it's not possible anymore. But I can tell you, my friends, you have to change this perception, because if you don't change this perception, you will never find Mr. or Mrs. Right. And you don't have to put it too high. Believe me, there is no Mr. or Mrs. Right. Nobody's perfect, but it's just a saying. So don't put it on the golden table and think, okay, there is really a Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. There is no Mr. or Mrs. Right. Nobody's perfect, but there is somebody out there that is compatible to you. And if you want to call this person Mr. or Mrs. Right, then so be it. But what I'm here to tell you is that you don't have to be single all the days of your life. It's not a must, yeah? And it's all in your hands to change it. If you're in a situation right now that you're single and you want to have a partner, then make a decision. Start taking analysis of yourself. Think about what you want. Think about how much you love yourself, and think about how much you want or expect from the other. And my friends, we should never forget, expectation on somebody else is not exactly a good thing. But of course, you want to have an idea what you want the person to look like. That's normal. So when you go out and you're trying to meet people, you're trying to say, okay, my thoughts were like this. I want to see this person like this. It should be like this or that. And that's all okay, my friends. It's all okay. But what I can tell you is, if you want a person to be in a certain form that you would like, then be that person. You have to have the same traits, because like I said in the podcast earlier, like attract like, and the universe, my friends, will give out the frequency or the energy that will help you to attract that person in your life that equals what you have in you. So go on out, be brave, love yourself, and start anew. Start finding or looking or searching or even attracting is maybe the better word. Go out there and attract the person that you want in your life, and it will all be good. So I just want to take this time out to thank you very much for listening to the second part of the Finding Mr. or Mrs. Right podcast. And I hope you find some value from this podcast. And if you do, please share, like, and comment in the comment box below, and let me know exactly what topics you'd like to touch on more, or if I could give you any more information that you might be needing to go about finding Mr. or Mrs. Right. Thank you very much for listening once again, and I do hope you'll join us again for the third part of this podcast series, Finding Mr. or Mrs. Right. We will be touching on changing your bad habits. All right. Thank you very much. The Brain King podcast, the only podcast, my friends, that will help you to create a winner's identity.